The movie begins with a mysterious scene at a facility shrouded in strange, swirling smoke. A young girl steps into the smoke, and shortly after, we see highly advanced fighter drones soaring through the sky. In the next scene, the story shifts to a plane, where we are introduced to the main character, Ethan Blake. Ethan is piloting the plane, but there's a technical issue. Calmly, he explains that the only way to fix the problem is to shut down the plane and restart it. On board the plane is a young woman named Eva, who is deeply obsessed with social media. Ethan starts a conversation with her, revealing that he is the founder of Quantanium, a groundbreaking technology company. He goes on to explain that Quantanium is a revolutionary invention that generates energy by manipulating time itself. Ethan and a team of scientists have a bold plan. They want to test the power of Quantanium by flying around the Earth in the plane, proving to the world that their quantum-based energy could change everything. However, their ambitious mission takes a disastrous turn when the plane crashes on a remote island. The story then shifts to a flashback, showing events on Earth in the year 2023. Eva, speaking to a crowd, announces that Ethan has taken over as the head of Lake Exploration Company. Ethan's brother, Jacob Lake, the company's commercial director, is also present at the event. Through their conversation, we learn about the tragic past of the Blake family. Ethan and Jacob's father was a brilliant scientist and the first person to successfully create energy using Quantanium technology. After Ethan's father passed away, Ethan took over as the owner of his father's company, Lake Exploration. From that moment on, Ethan devoted himself to fulfilling his father's dream of harnessing Quantanium, a groundbreaking energy source capable of generating immense power using time itself. At a public event, Ethan showcased the Quantanium capsule, proudly explaining its potential. Ethan, his brother Jacob, and the company's chief engineer accepted a bold challenge. They would demonstrate the power of Quantanium by flying a plane around the Earth. This ambitious mission was meant to prove to the world that Quantanium technology could revolutionize energy production. Joining them on this mission was a skilled engineer named Ryan, who was part of Ethan's research team. Before boarding the plane, Ethan addressed the team, mentioning their late colleague, Elizabeth, who had tragically passed away just 2 days prior. He revealed that Elizabeth had been strongly opposed to the Quantanium project. However, the reasons behind her opposition remain a mystery for now. The story then takes a dramatic turn as we see Ethan waking up inside the crashed plane. Disoriented and injured, he notices a group of soldiers outside, stealing the Quantanium capsule from the wreckage. Determined to protect the technology, Ethan grabs a gun and sets off after the soldiers. His pursuit leads him to a beach, where he encounters the same mysterious girl seen earlier in the movie. Ethan politely averts his gaze as the girl gets dressed, but she takes advantage of the moment to snatch his gun. However, Ethan quickly outsmarts her, retrieving the weapon and taking her captive. He demands to know her name and where she comes from, and she introduces herself as Tina. Reluctantly, Tina leads Ethan to a location where another ally of hers is waiting. In a sudden betrayal, Tina attacks Ethan from behind, knocking him unconscious. Before this confrontation, we are shown a flashback to 1984, when Ethan's father, Henry, bid him a heartfelt goodbye. Henry promised young Ethan that he would return in 2 years, hinting at a monumental breakthrough he was about to achieve. Ethan was deeply unhappy with his father's decision to leave, feeling abandoned and unsure about Henry's mysterious plans. The flashback ends and the story returns to the present, where Ethan regains consciousness. Disoriented, he finds himself in a ruined structure. As he looks around, he discovers his brother Jacob and the rest of the team taking shelter in the same building. Ethan wastes no time and informs the group that their survival depends on retrieving the stolen Quantanium and returning it to the plane. As the team begins strategizing, Ryan unexpectedly arrives and drops a shocking revelation. He admits that he intentionally caused the crash under the orders of Elizabeth, who wanted to ensure the Quantanium never left the island. Ryan further reveals that Elizabeth sabotaged their communication devices to prevent anyone from discovering the technology's existence. Tensions rise among the group, and Tad, one of the teammates, angrily confronts Ryan, furious over his betrayal. However, Ethan and Jacob decide there's no time to waste and set out to search the area for any clues. During their search, Ethan stumbles upon a house that Tina had once lived in. Inside, he discovers letters she had been sending to a boy named Matt, hinting at a deeper connection between Tina and the events surrounding the island. Meanwhile, Jacob explores another part of the area and encounters the strange smoke seen at the beginning of the movie. Driven by curiosity, he ventures into the smoke and emerges in a surreal scene. To his astonishment, Jacob realizes he has somehow traveled back in time to 1986, the same year their father, Henry, mysteriously disappeared. As Ethan continues his search, the mysterious smoke suddenly envelops him, pulling him into another timeline. Disoriented, Ethan eventually finds his way to Tina's house and sees her carrying the Quantanium heading somewhere. Curious and determined, Ethan follows her trail, which leads him to a theater where a crowd of people is engrossed in a movie. Among them, he notices a woman with her young son, Rob, quietly leaving the theater. As the woman exits, she crosses paths with Tina. Ethan seizes the moment to confront Tina, demanding answers about the Quantanium. He reveals that he was instrumental in its discovery, but Tina rebuffs him, stating that the Quantanium wasn't his creation, it was Henry's. Shocked, Ethan realizes he's in 1986, the same year his father disappeared. Before Ethan can process this revelation, a soldier suddenly appears. Spotting Ethan and Tina together, the soldier opens fire. However, miraculously, the bullets don't hit Ethan, and he is abruptly pulled back into his present timeline. Regaining his senses, Ethan reunites with Jacob, and the brothers exchange stories about the astonishing events they witnessed on the other side of the smoke. Their conversation is interrupted when they spot a mysterious man carrying a red backpack. As soon as the man notices them, he bolts. Ethan and Jacob give chase, determined to uncover his identity. Their pursuit leads them to an old abandoned house. Inside, a television is playing a video recording of Tina, who speaks directly to the camera. In the recording, Tina reveals the devastating truth. The Quantanium has caused widespread chaos and war. While Ethan processes this shocking information, he finally encounters the man with the red backpack. The man introduces himself as Rob, the same boy Ethan saw with his mother at the theater in 1986. Rob explains that he has been trapped in this timeline for the past 40 years, unable to escape the effects of the Quantanium. Most of his time has been spent reading books and reminiscing about the movies he once loved. In the next scene, Ethan and his team are exploring a mysterious facility on the island. As they investigate, the strange smoke begins to spread again. Suddenly, soldiers from the year 2036 emerge from the smoke, heavily armed and focused on finding the Quantanium. The soldiers locate the capsule containing the quantum rule and prepare to take it. Ethan and his friends witness the entire event from a hidden vantage point. Overcome with anger, Ethan impulsively tries to intervene and stop the soldiers. However, before he can act, Rob steps forward with an authoritative, commanding voice and orders the soldiers to stay put. In a surprising display of control, Rob manipulates the smoke, clearing it away. As the smoke dissipates, the soldiers vanish along with it, leaving Ethan and his team stunned. Curious and desperate for answers, the group turns to Rob, asking him about the mysterious smoke. Rob directs them to a specific location within the facility where they find a massive tow engine emitting the strange smoke. He explains that the engine has been releasing these quantum particles for some time, creating disruptions in time. Jacob hands Ethan a microphone and encourages him to share the full story about Quantanium. Ethan begins to explain, revealing that while Quantanium was originally conceived by his father, Henry, it was Ethan who fully developed it over the course of 3 years. He remarks bitterly that if his father were alive, Henry could have completed the project in just 20 minutes. Ethan continues, explaining that the smoke emitted by the tow engine is composed of quantum particles that destabilize time. Whenever someone comes into contact with the smoke, they are transported to the year 1986, the pivotal year when Quantanium was first invented. The smoke acts as a bridge between timelines, causing people from different eras to converge in 1986. This explains why soldiers from the year 2036 were appearing in 1986, and why others, like Rob, are trapped in different time loops. Jacob and Ethan, determined to solve the chaos surrounding the Quantanium, decide to restart the tow engine to extract some Quantanium for their escape. However, Jacob insists that they must leave a significant amount of Quantanium behind, believing it might be crucial for fixing the timeline later. Meanwhile, Ryan hands Ethan Eva's necklace, urging him to find her as soon as possible. As Ryan departs, Ethan follows him, but before they can get far, the strange smoke begins to engulf the facility once more. Ethan suddenly finds himself transported to the future, a war-torn timeline in the year 2036. Amid the chaos, a soldier explains to Ethan that their government initiated the war to seize control of the tow engine and the Quantanium. The government had been hunting Jacob and Ethan of 2036, who had gone into hiding underground to protect the technology. The soldier is then injured by an attack from a massive tank, and Ethan sees drones flying overhead, firing relentlessly at people on the island. One of the drones scans Ethan and identifies him, prompting it to target him. In a desperate attempt to survive, Ethan shoots at the drone, damaging it. Amid the chaos, Ryan is injured, and Eva appears, rushing to help Ethan save him. Despite their best efforts, Ryan succumbs to his injuries, leaving Ethan and Eva devastated. As Ethan processes the loss, he comes to a harrowing realization. Elizabeth was right to oppose Quantanium. The technology, meant to bring progress and prosperity, had become a weapon of destruction, sought after by those hungry for power. With this understanding, Ethan decides to go back to the root of the problem, the year 1986, to warn his father, Henry. Ethan arrives in 1986 and confronts confronts Henry, pleading with him to abandon the creation of Quantanium. He warns that the technology will lead to worldwide devastation. However, Henry's guards intervene, attempting to remove Ethan. Henry stops them, intrigued by Ethan's claims, and orders his guards to take Ethan to his office. In the privacy of the office, Ethan reveals the truth to Henry. He is from the future and Henry's son. Shocked but intrigued, Henry listens as Ethan recounts the disasters that Quantanium will bring. Ethan warns Henry that he will go missing this year and that the world will spiral into chaos because of the technology he created. Henry, however, remains confident, assuring Ethan that he has everything under control and that he will return in 2 days. Ethan, frustrated, insists that the events leading to Henry's disappearance are inevitable, as they have already happened. He tells Henry that trying to stop these events might be futile, but it's crucial to at least mitigate the damage caused by Quantanium. As Ethan and Henry discuss the dangers of Quantanium, they are interrupted by an attack from the soldiers and drones of 2036, who have breached the timeline. Chaos erupts as drones rain fire on the area, and Ethan spots Tina running for her life amidst the destruction. In the heat of the battle, Henry heroically saves Rob from an explosion, but tragically loses his own life in the process. Devastated, Ethan breaks down, mourning his father's sacrifice. As the same strange smoke begins to spread again, Ethan is pulled back into his present timeline. There he finds Jacob restarting the tow engine. Ethan confronts Jacob, revealing the horrifying truth. The company's work with Quantanium will lead to countless deaths in the future. He recounts his encounters with the advanced drones from 2036 and explains how Quantanium has been weaponized, making the drones nearly invincible. Eva supports Ethan's claims by showing Jacob a video she recorded of the war-torn future timeline, further proving the catastrophic consequences of their actions. Eva devises a plan to destroy the tow engine's control room, believing it's the only way to stop the chaos. However, Jacob vehemently opposes the idea, escalating the confrontation. In a shocking turn of events, Jacob kills Eva to protect the tow engine, valuing its potential power over the lives it might cost. Rob seizes the opportunity to create a distraction by sabotaging some equipment in the facility, breaking critical keys and systems, which allows him and Ethan to escape. Later, Ethan revisits a video Tina had recorded, where she reveals that she had hidden the Quantanium to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. From her message, Ethan learns that the Quantanium is still on the island. Tina's recording also hints at her intentions to destroy the tow engine, but she failed to carry out her plan. Understanding her resolve, Ethan decides to finish what Tina couldn't, destroying the tow engine to stop the havoc caused by Quantanium. Ethan shares his plan with Rob, proposing that they use old Quantanium to overload the tow engine and blow it up. To ensure they can manipulate the strange smoke, Ethan invents a device capable of attracting and controlling it. Using the device, he transports himself back to 1986, where he encounters Tina again, this time writing letters to someone named Matt. Realizing the connection, Ethan reveals to Tina that his real name is Matt. Stunned, Tina admits that she hid the Quantanium herself to keep it safe. Ethan asks Tina about the Quantanium, and she reveals that she had stored a large amount of it in a jar and given it to Rob when he was a small boy. She suggests that it might still be in Rob's red bag. Together, Ethan and Tina find the younger version of Rob, and Tina is shocked to see her past interacting with him. Ethan then explains the concept of time travel and tells her that he has come from the future to destroy the tow engine. As they talk, the strange smoke starts to fill the area again, and they see the future version of Rob appear, carrying the same red bag. Future Rob hands the bag to Tina, and she begins to understand that the smoke is merging all the timelines together. Ethan notices Tina wearing a necklace that looks identical to the one Elizabeth had. When they examine it closely, they discover a hidden recording. In the recording, they learn that Elizabeth is actually Tina's older self. Elizabeth explains that she opposed Quantanium because it caused chaos, with people across the world seeking to use its power to dominate. She also reveals that she once traveled to the past to try to stop Ethan, even attempting to kill him, but couldn't go through with it. Now understanding her fate, Tina realizes she will eventually become Elizabeth and die in the future. Accepting this, she decides to help Ethan complete his mission. Before taking their next steps, Tina shares a heartfelt moment with Ethan, dancing with him one last time. Together, Tina and Ethan travel back to 1986. Using the Quantanium from Rob's bag, they load it into the tow engine, determined to put an end to the chaos caused by Quantanium once and for all. In the next scene, the effects of Quantanium cause all the timelines to mix together. Henry sees Ethan and Tina, and as Ethan turns around, he notices Tad and Jacob standing nearby. Jacob has stolen Quantanium from the tow engine. Ethan destroys the stolen Quantanium, but in the chaos, Jacob gets transported to the year 2036, right into the middle of the war. In 2036, soldiers confront Jacob and demand that he hand over the Quantanium. Before he can respond, the soldiers are crushed by a tank. Ethan soon arrives and pleads with Jacob, saying they need to work together to destroy the tow engine or countless lives will be lost. However, a fight breaks out between them. Jacob overpowers Ethan, and when Rob tries to intervene, Jacob kills him. Tad shows up moments later, devastated by the destruction and loss he sees in the timeline. Overcome with emotion, he grabs a gun and shoots Jacob. However, a drone spots Tad and kills him in retaliation. Ethan then makes his way to the tow engine, which is emitting a bright blue light. The light pulls Ethan closer, and a massive explosion occurs. The explosion sends Ethan back to the year 1986, where he finds Henry and warns him not to activate the tow engine. To convince him, Ethan shows Henry a video of the future timeline, revealing the catastrophic consequences of Quantanium. Realizing the danger, Henry decides to shut down the experiment and destroys the entire facility to ensure the project is never completed. With the project stopped, the timelines are restored to normal, and the chaos caused by Quantanium is undone. No one dies because of it, and the future is saved. And that's how this time travel story comes to an end. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to like and leave a comment. I'll be back soon with another exciting video. Until then, take care, and thanks for watching.